Hi everyone, I'm back. I remember the last time that we I did a video. I said I was going to change it up a bit. First I thought I was going to do the Gnostic and esoteric ways, but the direction changed. And the direction I'm going at now is something that's more relatable to everyone. Because I'm pretty sure that some things that happened in my life maybe happened in yours. Mm. Because remember, at the end of the day, we're all one. And on contrary belief, we've been here before. We're reincarnated. Yes, we are. So let me tell the story from the very beginning. I was born a late September night. The sky was clear, the stars were out, and it was a waxing moon. Good intent, positive intentions, and in my north node. So, a couple things my grandfather would always point out. He would take my arm and he would say, Margie, Margie, you got the little dipper on your arm. And he would take a pen and he would point out, and then he would take me out to the night sky and say, see, it's the little dipper and it's on your arm. And then I had a friend one time, we were getting ready to go to the beach and I had my bathing suit on and everything. She goes, Margie, do you know you have yin and yang on your back? I go, really? Never really noticed. So I'm like looking. Oh yeah, I do, don't I? I never noticed that. So, you know, born on a waxing moon with the stars. And one thing my children will always say is, whenever I went outside, my head went up to the sky. I was looking at the stars. I was looking at the moon and just in so much awe because I just loved it. And I remember when my oldest daughter first got married and her husband moved. They moved quite a ways away. He was in the service at the time. And they were out one night and she was looking at the moon. She goes, do you think my mom sees the same moon? And he kind of laughed at her and said, you're so pretty. Of course, she's looking at the same moon, and it was a full moon, which I love the full moon, and that's coming up in 2 days. 2 days. And so all my life, it has been about the moon, the stars, and oh my gosh, the sun. You know, everything that ever happened in my life, it may have got me down for a while, and it may have kicked me around for a while, but I always got back up. It's always said, when life hands you lemons, make lemonade. If you get knocked down on the ground, get back up, dust off the dirt, and keep on moving. It's kind of like going from the dust up into Phoenix. I never let anything get me down for long. Not for long. And I will say my parents, don't get me wrong, my parents loved me. They did. But they didn't understand me, even from a little child on up. I was too bright. When I say bright, there was a lot of light coming from me. And I was this child. I was humble. I was sweet. I always wanted to mend things, make things happy. My house wasn't always very happy. So I was always trying to basically say massage and make things better. And my parents just did not know how to take me. And unfortunately, my father was an atheist. And my mother was a Catholic, but a non-practicing Catholic. And I remember when we moved to a house in Tacoma Park, I looked at Daddy and I said, Daddy, I just want to go to church. I want to go to church. And he looked at me, he goes, you know, from my father never spoke about God, neither did my mother, but I'm like, Daddy, please take me to church. So he did find a church, and he would, on the morning I go to church, he would go up to the local grocery store, get me my little cinnamon pecan rolls that I loved, and my made up milk, because I was allergic to milk, so we had to carnation instant milk, but you know, you get used to it after a while. Two things my mother used to say I loved was chocolate milk. What couldn't I have? I couldn't have chocolate, and I couldn't have milk. But that's what I loved. So, you know, Daddy would get me my fake milk and my pecan rolls, and on to school I went. On to Sunday school I went. And I remember I would always just sit in the class and I would look at the picture of Jesus. I would just sit there and look at him. And I remember one time I said, Daddy, do you think when I grow up I could marry Jesus? And Daddy goes, no, sweetheart, you can't marry Jesus. And my grandmother, grandfather, my father's parents, they were religious. And they would always come and pick me up and take me to see Oral Roberts. You know, he did a lot of healing. And it just touched my heart so much. And what I came to find out throughout my life, I'm a healer. Not a healer that I put my hands on you and I heal you and say, you're healed. But I would always go in, and if someone was having a bad day, I would sit down, I would talk to them. And when they left, they were in better shape. It's just my light. It is my light. It is who I am. And there's a lot more to the story, but I just wanted to say from the time I popped out of my mother, my love for God and Jesus was always there. I am a child of God. I pray to him continuously. The angels are all around me. My ancestors are always with me. And always be kind when you're out and about, because you never know who that person is you're speaking to in the grocery store or at the car wash or at the gas station. They may be a special child of God, and if you hurt them, God kind of frowns upon that. I've been seeing that more and more as I've gone through my awakening process. So always be kind. Always be nice. It only takes a minute to grab that can of can off the shelf for an older woman or a short woman. It only takes a moment to show a woman how to fill up a gas can. It only takes a second to help a woman at a car wash why her car won't start. It only takes a second to look at a person and see they're having a bad day and just be kind to them. You don't have to do anything but maybe just smile and say hi. Be kind. Always be kind within your heart and mean it. Because a person can tell if they say hello to you, you go, oh, hi, you have a good day. Yeah, you have a good day too. Yes. Can tell that it's not real. You're just in a hurry, just saying the words and moving along. Mean it. Because that might be what somebody just needs today. A smile and a genuine, I hope your day goes well. Or if you can see that there's something wrong, just say, I hope all is well.